Hey there, folks. Tom again to do the CSS Battle Daily Target. And we've got, what is that? Sort of an abstract umbrella or elephant. I don't know, depending on what you see. Got some interesting patterns going on for sure. All right, what are the pieces? Let's figure out what the pieces and the parts are. Obviously, gradients can work. This overlaps in an interesting way. So this is not lined up with this. So that means that some of the options are not open to us. So let's do a reminder of border solid 20 pixels and then do border color. So what can we do with border color? Red, yellow, white. Yeah, so green, right? So you get that hard edge to do that, unless you do border width and then do 20 0 or something, right? 20 0 20 50 0. Oh, and I guess you need to have a background that makes a little more sense. Yeah, okay. That's enough hemming and hawing. Let's just make an element and see what we can do. In this case, a paragraph element. And it looks like we're going to start with this peach color, yellowy color. And then we'll do border inline of 10 pixels solid blue, that light blue. All right, let's push it around. And I have a I don't have a solid idea yet. 3, 4, 42. 1, for 2, for 3, for 4, 40, 55. Okay, and then the height is 200. No, 190. 190. Okay. So that's what we have now. We've got those edges. The fact that this overlaps means that we can't use necessarily some of the techniques that we would normally use. How about, what happens if we do box shadow inset 0 20 pixels? What do we get there? So we unfortunately we don't have that, so we need a color as well. 20 30. And then what if we do another one? Inset 0 minus 30 pixels and then that color. So that's what we got now. Overkill? Inefficient? I don't know. You know, you solve a problem. Sometimes the problem is not very efficient. Let's go ahead and we're going to override that background. We'll have 2 of them, but we'll replace one. Conic. Gradient and transparent to start with 75%, and then this color 0. And I guess I'm going to add I will add a pink in the background. Let's nuke that pre-existing pink. All right. So that's in the top corner, or the fact that we've got this box shadow. I don't like this box shadow. This box shadow is a bad idea. I didn't like that idea. So I think what we will replace it with a linear gradient of this dark color, 30 pixels, transparent, 0, 100 pixels, and then the blue, 0, and then a comma. And that's what we got so far. Isn't that neat? So there's 30, let's go 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Great. All right, now we need an at value on this conic gradient at 100 pixels, 40 pixels. 100 looks right. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100, 100. And then we need a width. How about 140 pixels? 150, 60, 70, 80. All right. And then the final is another conic gradient, I guess, to do this little oddball guy. Another conic gradient, which is, and that doesn't autocomplete. That's all right. Is this heavy? Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Do we care? No, it's Friday. Why would we be bothered? Okay, so, and what we want to do there is make this repeat or have it have a width. So we're going to be at 50% width. No, 50% background position, and then 100 pixels, and then repeat Y. So that's how we get that guy. Now we need to narrow it, looks like. Okay, so we need to make it narrower. So this is no good. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Oh, and of course it's not really at 50%. How about 100 pixels? How about 110, 20? There it is. And then we'll make it wider. 90. Nope. 80. Nope. 70. There it is. Let's move that center of that. At 30 pixels. 70 pixels? No, that's too low. 50. No, maybe it's too high. 100. 20, 30. And then over another 10 pixels, 40. And then we add just a little dash of that light blue. Those are the pieces. A lot of pieces. I like it. This is these are the pieces that I use when making CSS illustrations. When I do that, now, it's not a particularly interesting illustration. It's not a friendly critter, really. It's more abstract. It's kind of like an old, janky Atari 2600 game, which has its own charm. What else can we do with this? Is there anything else we want to do with that? Like, do we want to do this in a different way? 625, 100% match. It's fine. Okay. So at the moment, that's all on. All of this we could also do with the nested template. And is there any win doing it that way? There it is. Hardy har har. Hit that there, and then similar thing. 3, 4, 5, 45, 46, 47, 30, 40, 42. And that's the same solution. Minify, unit replace. Probably a little shorter code-wise. What else can we do there? Other optimizations? There are certainly optimizations to be made here. If we get rid of, let's see, what can we get rid of? If we get rid of this linear gradient, those are the pieces that are then messed up. Is there any win to that? To do it in a different way? I don't think so, not really. Well, if we did change the border around, we get that. And that means we would need to move some things over. Is that a win? because we need that linear gradient, and then we can do a conic gradient out of that. So I'm going to get rid of both of these, and then we're going to adjust some of these numbers. All right, I believe what we need to do is let's see, so that dark color, I take it back. I don't want to do that. That worked fine. I don't want to redo the whole thing. That was fun. This is one that I'll probably retry, although I won't record it, because it's fun to exercise. Okay, how few gradients can I use to accomplish the same task? Because efficiency is really good. Like, if you're making an artwork, how few brush strokes can you make to paint that painting? How few brush strokes can you illustrate something with? And that's an interesting challenge. And then sometimes, the point is how much detail and how many things can you do. But in the case of Code Golf, obviously it's the fewer the better. And of course, as always, this 273 characters that I've got is a lot. The best players do half that. We'll do the same solution with half that, and that's just great. I'm operating in a different echelon. I hope you're having a good day. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and go make a web page. Bye.